Read or listen to the passage below and then answer the questions. How do tornadoes form? This can be found on chainreactionkids.org. Most tornadoes form from thunderstorms. You need warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico and cool, dry air from Canada. When these two air masses meet, they create instability in the atmosphere. A change in wind direction and an increase in wind speed with increasing height creates an invisible, horizontal spinning effect in the lower atmosphere. Rising air within the updraft tilts the rotating air from horizontal to vertical. An area of rotation 2 to 6 miles wide now extends through much of the storm. Most strong and violent tornadoes form within this area of strong rotation. Question 1. In the diagram, what happens when cool air dries and the warm, humid air meet? A. The downdraft forms lightning. B. It starts to thunderstorm and rain. C. The air starts to rotate or spin. D. An anvil cloud forms in the air. Question 2. How are the tornadoes' form, diagram, and reading passages similar to each other? Both show and explain how important the jet stream is. Both show and explain how rapidly tornadoes move. C. Both show and explain how destructive tornadoes are. D. Both show and explain the formation of tornadoes. The life of Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin was born into a large family. He was the 15th child of 17 children in the family. His father Josiah was a candle maker. Benjamin helped him make candles and soap. His father wanted him to take over the family business when he grew up, but he wasn't interested. To help Ben decide on a career, Josiah took him on long walks around Boston so he could observe men doing the work of their trade. Benjamin learned how to do many things during these excursions, but he didn't want to pursue any of the trades. When Ben was 12 years old, his father apprenticed him to his older brother James, who was a printer. Ben had to sign articles of indenture, a contract that bounded him to work for James for 9 years until he was 21 years old. He worked 12 hours a day in the printing shop, but still found time to educate himself. Though he only had 2 years of formal schooling, he taught himself foreign languages and read books on grammar, science, and math. Ben wrote letters to the editor of the newspaper, his brother, and signed them Silence Dogwood. People enjoyed reading the letters, but James became angry and stopped printing them when he found out his younger brother had been writing them and signing a fictitious name. James got into trouble and was imprisoned. He was told he could no longer publish the newspaper. He decided he would have Ben publish the paper for him, even though it was illegal because Ben was his apprentice. He told Ben he would tear up his contract if he would publish the newspaper while he was in prison. So Ben published the paper. Later, James tried to hold to the original articles of indenture, but he failed because the authorities could find that he had illegally put Ben in charge of the newspaper. So James could not write a new contract binding Ben to him. The two brothers fought constantly. Finally, Ben ran away and went to Philadelphia. He started his own successful printing business and published a newspaper, the Pennsylvania Gazette, for many years. He is most famous for the Poor Richard's Almanac, which he published for 25 years. People frequently quote from his sayings such things as early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise, and a penny saved is a penny earned. Ben followed this rule all his life and accomplished more than most men of his time. He was able to get the cooperation of people by giving credit for ideas to others rather than taking the credit himself. He started the Junto Club where people could come together to exchange ideas. As a result of these meetings, he started the first library in America, the first volunteer fire department in Philadelphia, and the first hospital in Pennsylvania. They appointed him postmaster and he created a working postal system. He even created the dead letter office. He invented bifocal glasses so he would not have to switch glasses when looking at things far away and close up. He invented the lightning rod to protect people's homes from being destroyed by lightning. He invented the Franklin stove, which provided better heat for their homes. He refused to patent the Franklin stoves and the lightning rod because he thought more people would benefit from the inventions if he did not patent them. He provided that lightning and electricity are the same thing using a kite, string, and heat on a thunderstorm. His experiments earned him fame. He also awarded honorary degrees from Harvard and Yale, even though he lacked formal schooling. He made studies of the Gulf Stream while on voyages across the Atlantic Ocean. He started the University of Philadelphia. He served as a diplomat to France and spent about 10 years away from his family to further the cause of American independence. The people of France loved him dearly and honored him in many ways. He helped to write the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. He also worked to put an end to slavery in America long before others took up the cause. Some say when he died in 1790, the whole civilized world went into mourning. 20,000 people honored him at his funeral in Philadelphia. People still visit his grave today and throw pennies on his headstone. Every year, $6,000 worth of pennies are collected and given to him in his honor to help the poor. Question 3. How does the drawing of Benjamin Franklin's bifocals help you to understand their purpose? The lens on the left, the top says least convex for distant objects, and on the bottom it says the most convex for reading. The glass on the right says least convex on the top, and on the bottom, most convex. So, how does the drawing in Benjamin Franklin's bifocal glasses help you to understand their purpose? A, it shows two different lenses for seeing two different ways using convex. B, it shows how Benjamin Franklin invented bifocal glasses. C, it shows how Benjamin Franklin used bifocal glasses. D, it shows a person wearing bifocal glasses and how they look. Events in the life of Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin was born in Boston on January 17, 1706. The next event is apprentices at a print shop. The next event moves to London. The next event opens a printing office in Philadelphia. The next event, Poor Richard and Almanac. The next event, appointed a postmaster in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The next event says book on electricity published in London. The next event, a famous kite experiment. The next event, elected president of American Philadelphia Society. The next event, the Declaration of Independence. The next event, Treaty of Alliance with France. The next event, Treaty of Peace with Great Britain. The next event, sees Mugler brothers first to fly in balloon. The next event, delegate to Constitutional Convention. The last event, dies in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, April 17, 1790. Question 4. Look at the timeline above. What can you determine about Benjamin Franklin's life? A, he died in 1706. B, he was born in 1790. C, he did his famous kite experiments after he was made postmaster of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. D, he did his famous kite experiment before he was made postmaster of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Question 5. Look at the timeline above. What can you determine about Benjamin Franklin's life? A, he did his famous kite experiment after 1760. B, he moved to London after 1720. C, he opened a printing office after 1730. He apprenticed at the print shop before 1710.